One of the ladies in my church band suggested we play the song Creed, written by Rich Mullins back in 1993. It's a song I may have heard way back in the day that I forgot about, that we kind of were blowing the dust off of, and I made a chart for it and have been listening to it over and over. So I decided, well, that's what I usually do when I try to do a tutorial video, so why not do a tutorial video to go with the song. This may be helpful for any folks who might, Rich Mullins wrote a few songs. Most of us church folks who went to the church in the 80s and 90s probably remember. Some light on the situation there. Maybe this is one you haven't listened to in a while. It still sounds like it's something you could play today at a service, with it being 2017, with what's going on with the music right now, and still it would actually fit right in. You probably just make a few minor tweaks to make it sound more 2017-ish. So yeah, but anyway, or you could probably play the original 93 version and probably no one would, I don't think anybody would date it unless they knew it was from then. So anyway, let's see here. I'll give you, it's kind of an easy version. You can fancy up your strumming as you desire. This is going to be sort of a basic bare bones strumming pattern. So it's something you can build on if you're a beginner, especially this one might be good. Without further yakking, here we go. Two, three, boom. Okay, I'm just going to stop there so you can see where the intro went into the verse. I don't 100% know this tune yet, so but I'm doing a tutorial video anyway, because yeah. So it should be pretty good, and you can listen to the recording. So it should. I've been listening to it a lot, so I'm trusting myself to know this. All right. Anyway, here is our listing of chords without me going into naming them all. You want to pause the video for a second, take a look, what's going on, what I did, especially with the chart. You'll notice I there's the 1, 2, 3, 4 count, and I would underline the number where the chord landed in the count. So that way things, were lined up timing-wise the way they were supposed to. And then you may notice on my number 4 with the star next to it, in the drumming there's a sort of like he hits the snare and the bass, it's like boom, and then they go into the F second chord. Second chord there. Now if you're playing by yourself, you're going to have to cover rhythm, and you're going to have to fill in the gaps where your dulcimers and bass guitars and strings and vocals and all the other wonderful things that have going on in this song are happening. For a modern comparison, just for a side note, a modern comparison to this song might be Coldplay's Viva La Vida record, the first song. There's dulcimer in there. It's got that going up energy thing going on. That's this song too, has that too. So if you want a more modern song to compare it to. Anyway, if you're playing with a band, you can probably get away with just playing the chords where they land within the beats. Just be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just go on as the song goes on where the chords land in the beats. That chart is helpful for me, so I know where to land. If you want a copy of it, let me know and I'll find a way to get it to you. So yeah, just hitting the chords. Because if you have somebody who's either doing the arpeggio on the piano, or they actually have a fortunate enough to have a dulcimer player, which actually my church is, trying to get that person to listen and learn the song, so maybe when we do it we have it covered. And if you happen to be even more blessed with a string quartet of some kind that can play the string parts, that's cool too. If you don't, I would recommend an organ effect of some kind, maybe a Wurlitzer organ effect to replace the strings with. So that just seems like, based on my experience, that would sound an appropriate substitute if you don't have actual strings, or a keyboardist who can actually play both, the arpeggiated part at the same time and have their other hand holding down a string part, or they pre-programmed or whatever we do these days that makes it, we can make it sound like amazing with just the click of a mouse or tap of a tablet. So anyway, yeah, so and then we go in, and it goes into verse 1. Like I said, you can just study where the chords hit in the beats. If you have a whole band to back it up, playing all the other parts, you can just barring with your guitars, and maybe bass guitar too, unless your bass guitar goes if he wants to do that kind of stuff, which is cool and neat. But yeah, that's more of a bare bones approach if you're less fancifully skilled. So okay, so verse 1, let me see if I can kind of sing it. The melody's probably going to be 100%, but I'll try to make sure. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. I believe in God the Father, Almighty, maker of heaven and maker of earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only begotten Son, our Lord. He was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary. 2, 3, 4. Suffered under Pontius Pilate. 2, 3, 4. He was crucified and dead and buried. And I believe what I believe. Okay, and that's going into the chorus. So once again, you can see where verses go to the next. One part goes to the next. So yeah, it's just kind of like that last F2 chord right there. That thing gets 4 counts, and then he starts singing, and then this F2 chord gets, I think, pretty much 4 counts, and then the next verse is sung, and then right on earth there's another F2, and I got this so you can actually see what I'm saying when I say this stuff, and then all that, kind of his son, it's sort of, that's odd the way he kind of slows down there for a minute, and it's kind of an awkward timing. So if you can kind of just listen to it on the record and get it, you can see the Holy Spirit. Pretty much most of the time it's wherever the breath is taken. There'll be approximately 4 counts. If you happen to have the sheet music to really actually be able to see where the counts are, that helps too. So there's that and all that, and then it goes into the first chorus. So let's do the first chorus. Yeah, there's a lot of F, anyway, there are a lot of F seconds and then a B flat second. So our F second being a, and I'm just muting the 5th and 6th strings with my finger just by letting my middle finger rest between them, so they're not making any noise they shouldn't be making. So I'm, and I just let it ring, or you can, but if you have a piano player who's doing the arpeggio, or you have a dulcimer, either your strum pattern needs to lock up really tightly with that person, or maybe you just do the ring out thing and let them cover the notes there, because if you're out of sync with them, it's going to kind of clash. It is going to clash. So that's a tip of advice for if you cover this song, and depending on your skill level, or you're going to do the arpeggiated part because you're that good of a guitarist. Us, you Phil Keggies out there. So anyway, our first chorus. Let me go in. That's all the advice I have for verse 1. And then did I do the B flat second? Don't think I did. So, I mean, you can get away with going and playing a straight B flat. It's just an added second note within the chord, so it's not a big deal. But if you want to be more musically accurate, it's a second chord. So once again, and the thing I'm doing that time with that chord is when I'm going from this now, and the string below it's just sort of my finger sits on it while it presses down and mutes the 5th string or A string, and then everything else is there's your B flat second. It's this, if this is a new thing to you, it's not as hard as you think it is. It's like, oh gosh, I'm doing 2 things at once. Yes, you're doing 2 things at once simultaneously. So just press that string down and let your finger touch the string below it, and that's all that is to muting that string below it, in case that's a brand new thing to you as a guitarist or you just started playing guitar. Like I said, these videos are kind of supposed to be focused on the person who just started playing. So yeah, so for you intermediate guys, like I said, there's the performance video to kind of help balance that out, so you guys don't have to listen to me yak so much. You already pretty much know what you're doing anyway. So yeah. Okay, anyway, our first chorus, here we go. I believe what I believe is what makes me what I am. I did not make it, though it is making me. It's the very truth of God, the virgin of any man. I believe that he who suffered. Okay, I'm going to stop. That was the first chorus going into verse 2 with a musical interlude in between those. D minor. It's like if you know a B minor chord, this is the same thing. You've got a capo on the 3rd, so relative B minor, which is actually technically, musically accurately speaking, is a D minor. So now as you're barring that, first of all, I know some of you barring, you're like, oh no, not bar chords. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Anyway, but it's good to learn them. I didn't like them at first either, and once I learned them, life became a little easier with guitar. So I recommend going ahead and doing the work of getting them down. When you're doing this, you can kind of let your finger just touch that low string to mute it while you're doing the chord formation. It's one of those subtle things that people don't get until they start playing guitar, and then they do it and they're like, ah. One of those little guitar player secrets. So a D minor, when I believe what I believe, and then a C makes me what I am. So we have what would be considered an A shape there, and if you want, you could go, whoops, although, yeah, I don't know, or you could even just do a second. Yes, it's Kata who wants to get out of my room, and I don't blame him. So yeah, so you have options there, or you could even do your quote-unquote power chord. You could get away with that. So that's for your quote-unquote D minor, then your C chord, quote-unquote C chord. And what I'm doing is this middle finger is muting that low string the whole time. And I slide down and it just stays there. This finger comes up, and this finger's still muting. So you're... So that. And then another B flat second. And again, you know, if you're playing with a full band, you can just 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now you can kind of, okay, okay, so it's like I did not make it. I did not make it, no, it is making me. It is the very truth of God and not the invention of any man. just to give you, because I don't have a band to back me up, so I'm having to fill in, you know, gaps here. Okay, so we can move on to verse 2, I guess. Verse 2 is pretty much the same formula that verse 1 operated under. Again, this is the Apostles' Creed put to music, so I mean the words he's saying are the words from the Apostles' Creed. So let me give you that real fast. And I won't bother going over chord formations again since it's the same as verse 1, and I'll just run through it. Here we go. I believe that he who suffered was crucified, buried, and dead. He descended into hell, and on the third day rose again. Okay, I forgot to. He descended into heaven, where he sits at God's mighty right hand. I believe that he's returning to judge the quick and the dead and the sons of men. And I believe what I believe. It makes me what I am. Okay, and the second chorus operates the same way the first one did, so again, I won't waste your time with more repetition on that. If I forgot to show you the first chorus, here it is. And like I said, I had some chords I need to type in, but I had to sketch them down with pen. And I circled the words that they basically land on there. And then for the second, there's that little musical interlude at the top there. Again, full band, all you got to do is hit it, let your 8 counts go by, hit it again. And then your verse 2, sketched in chords there, and then we have a second chorus, sketched in chords there, and then we have that bridge that we're about to look at. So let's look at that. This is one where you really got to pay attention to the count. Or if you have a drummer that you can just kind of fall into sync with, that helps. And feel it out rather than have to, you know, actually think and count. That's a nice thing about music. It kind of takes over your mind and lets you fall into place with it. That bug is still in my room. I have a little adventure with me today. All right, so let's go over that bridge. Let's cross that bridge, and that bridge does extend to my third page there at the very top. So we'll go over that stuff. All right, let me just play it. I believe it, I believe it. I believe it. Okay, and I went to verse 3 enough so you can see the connection. Okay, this one, I have a couple things to say about it. The bridge. So that was slow. Let me kind of give you a fast version so you can kind of feel it more, because you know it's really very, very much more sped up and much more the word chaotic, or like being on a, kind of gives you that riding on a stormy ocean feel, like, you know, you have these beliefs and the world's going to challenge you feelings, and he's saying I believe it over and over and during the lyrics. So that's kind of this music's kind of the battle music, the battle that you're going to face when you really take on this faith. you know, and tell people I believe in a God that healed the sick and rose from the dead and stuff like that, and they're like, all that's scientifically proven to be impossible. And you have to be like, science is not the rock foundation. I stand on mine's faith. So anyway, get ready. Here's some music to help you on your way. So here we go. All right. Okay, so we're gonna count it while I strum my pattern. It drives me. Exciting strum pattern you can throw in. Forgive me if you hear the Jars of Clay influence there. Yeah, you probably hear it. You're probably thinking Flood maybe even right now. That's fine. Here's your there's a sort of way to play Flood in standard. That's a video for a later day. Okay, so here we go. Now the D minor, like I said, you can do a sort of an open power chord version. You're muting that string, and we slide down. We're muting that string the whole time. You can kind of even do like a chuggy strum thing, which that's just a word coming to mind. So it's like, so it's to kind of get what the violins and stuff are doing on a guitar, kind of, or at least to sort of get that. So there's a, you can kind of so yeah, just kind of, you're just bouncing your finger during that beautiful minor ninth chord, which if you're playing a G minor ninth would be a which you may recognize that's Third Day. That's Love Song. Just giving you a little thing there. Boy, that bug scared me so bad just now. I'm gonna pause the video. Okay, let the bug out. So yeah, there's something you can do with the bridge. If you're a lone guitarist, if you don't have all the band backing behind you to get something to do to make that, what that string part is, happen on a guitar by itself. So there you go. And then there's that G minor ninth, that beautiful minor ninth chord. So I'll play the Third Day thing again. I think there's a lot of video tutorials out there, so there's probably no reason for me to make that video. Unless you guys really, really want it, and I get like 5 comments that say, hey, please make that video, we really like your way, or something proving to me that it's worth doing. Again, Okay, so verse 3. Verse 3 is he's returning back to the first line of the Apostles' Creed. And we're kind of just, there's a climb up that happens. Now there's a B, that B flat second with a D in the bass. Show a couple of ways to handle that chord. And let me play through it. I'm going to screw it up because I don't 100% know it, but here we go. Okay. I believe in God the Father, Almighty Maker of heaven and Maker of earth, and in Jesus Christ, His only begotten Son, our Lord. I believe. Okay. I believe in the Holy Spirit, Holy Church, communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins. I believe in the resurrection. I believe in the life that never ends. Okay, I screwed it up. I screwed it up. So you're going to need to listen to the recording to play it correctly. But what the big deal is there's that climb up that keeps happening, the strings and everything, and you can, persons, like I said, the Wurlitzer organ person, hopefully they can handle that. Your keyboards can handle that. And you can just keep doing your, and what you're doing instead of a regular B flat, let your finger up and just rest on your 6th string or your E string, whichever interpretation of thought you're living with, tab or whatever. So your notes are, so that's mute, and then we have so yeah, there's that. And you got your D notes right there. So D. And I guess it's technically, if you're doing what you want to do, if you want to do the really maybe more accurate version of the chord, is okay, this finger's on your 2nd string relative 2nd fret, your 5th string relative 2nd fret to your capo, resting on the 4th string below it. Then you have a formation like this. So you're like, it's like, let your bass player or your keyboardist or anybody handle that. Or I guess maybe you could be, try to do some kind of climb up. I'm not good at that, so that's for you guitarists who know what you're doing. Somebody make that video for me, please. So, and again, listen to the record for how that verse 3 is actually supposed to progress. 3rd chorus. Chorus is doing what it's been doing. D minors and C's and B flat seconds. And this one time there's a no 3rd note to pay attention to. Let me show you that, so yeah, it's not just words that don't mean anything. 3rd chorus, here we go, and B flat no 3rd. Where I circled, there's another B flat no 3rd. Do that. This is where you just strum. If you're with the band and you want to keep it simple for yourself, just strum, strum, strum. Everything is circled. I'm going to go back and type this above those words where it starts, so people will know in my band when we play it where to do it. And then there's the I believe it happening again, and this time we're kind of doing what we did in the beginning with the F seconds, and then the B seconds there. And there's a lot of just instrumental that's happening. I believe it, the song's going out, and battle's won, so that's good. And then I just said, that last chord, let it ring. Just let it ring out, however, until people clap or people, whatever they do, to help you sort of know that that song has made its effect. or boo you off the stage or whatever it is. Hopefully they don't. So hopefully they like it. So I guess what you might want to hear, let me just play the third chorus from its beginning to its end. So, and I believe what I believe. Here goes. Makes me what I am. I did not make it. No, it is making me. I did not make it. No, it is making me. I said I did not make it. No, it is making me. It's the very truth of God, not the invention of any man. I believe it, I believe it. 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 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I believe it, I believe it. I believe it. That'd be a 2, 3, 4. With F, that would be a 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that ending was, sorry, it's a little rough. Let me try it one more time. So it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, and just let it ring. Hopefully people start cheering and clapping and hey, great song, and it's all good like that. So yeah, there you go. The new chords were that C with F, the da 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 thing I just did. Very last bottom thingy right there. Again, if you want this chart, let me know. So there it is. But yeah, there's that song. I think I did it 90% accurately, so cool. I hope this is one I think can still hold up in 2017. So there's a good song from back in 1993 by Rich Mullins, who wrote a lot of good songs like Sometimes by Step, or some people call it Step by Step. I know my church does. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. In the chorus, we were doing a simplified version of it in youth group years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and now we actually play the whole thing in the original Rich Mullins format, which is funny. Hold me, Jesus, I'm shaken like a leaf. You've been my King of Glory, won't you be my Prince of Peace? So if those old lyrics spark up some old memories and make you want to hear those songs again, go listen to them. Again, good stuff there. I mean, like I said, I do this channel with the 90s music, because 90s Christian rock, because I really do think a lot of good songs were written then, and I think it'd be a shame to just let them fall away and not be remembered. But it's such is the will. Then that's the way it'll go. But here's my effort to make some kind of mark on the internet, which it seems like everybody, once it's on the internet, it never goes away. So so anyway, here's something good to remember. So yeah, anyway guys, keep learning, and God bless.